What if I told you the first few minutes decide whether you conquer the day or let it conquer you? What if just 10 minutes after waking could shape the next 16 hours of your life? While others snooze, scroll, and surrender, you could be building something unstoppable, a mind immune to manipulation, a body that doesn't flinch, and a presence that silences rooms. This isn't motivational fluff, it's a system, a stoic, strategic, and surgical approach to morning mastery, crafted not for comfort, but for control. When you master the first hour, the rest of the day bends to your command. Drop a comment, I command the first hour, because you're watching Stoicism philosophy daily, and you didn't come here to wake up soft. You came to wake up untouchable. Number 1, the hour of control. First hour isn't about productivity. It's about positioning. When others wake up reacting, you wake up executing. No phone, no noise, no external commands. Your environment is still. Your movements are surgical. Cold water hits your face, you don't flinch. Your body resists you. Override it. You don't wait to feel ready. You act like someone already in control. The average man checks his notifications. The strategic man checks himself. Deep breathing, upright posture, a mind unavailable to weakness. This is how you separate yourself before the world even knows you're awake. Say it in the comments. I move before the world can touch me. Say it like a vow. Now, we move into silence where real power begins to rise. We stepped into silence, the space where real strength is built. Now, it's time to enter the next realm of control, your very first thought. Number 3, the first thought. The seed that shapes the day. Most people wake up and instantly default to weakness. They think about what they have to do, what they fear, or what they lack. That very first thought is a seed, and if it's planted in reaction, the rest of the day grows in disorder. But not you. You don't let the mind wander. You choose your first thought like a weapon, not a whim. It must be cold, controlled, clear. Not I hope I survive today, but I control the pace. Nothing enters without my permission. I am the architect, not the pawn. That single command, spoken inwardly and without emotion, becomes your mental software. Why? Because thought isn't just mental, it's chemical. One thought shifts hormones, bends perception, activates or kills discipline. You think you're just waking up. You're either seizing control or handing it over to a subconscious built by society, media, and memory. You are not your past. You are not your sleep. You are the first thought you choose. So don't wait for clarity. You issue it. As soon as consciousness returns, you insert the directive. Your first thought isn't about hope. It's about hierarchy. Either your mind obeys you, or you obey it. Number 4, cold exposure. Control pain, forge will. In the morning, the body is weak. It's programmed for comfort. So you attack it, not with anger, but with calculated cold. Cold exposure isn't a trend, it's training. Training the nervous system to obey, not complain. You step into cold water, not because it feels good, but because your body begs you not to. That's the point. Each second you endure it, you teach the body who's in charge. The shiver is weakness leaving. The shock is the ego breaking. Cold strips away illusion. In cold, there's no pretending to be disciplined. You either face it, or you run. But once you stop running from discomfort, you become someone most people have never met. Someone in control of pain. Cold exposure rewires your mind, not to seek comfort, but to find opportunity inside resistance. You don't need warm mornings. You need edge. Because a man who can master cold can master confrontation. And a mind that doesn't panic from shock doesn't fold under pressure. Now take a breath, because what you're about to face next isn't the cold outside, but the fire within. You've just stepped out of the cold, forged in discomfort, sharpened in silence. Now it's time to go further, commanding your body before you even think of commanding the world. Number 5, command the body before you. Command life before you can make the world obey. You must first make your body obey. Not with noise, not with hype, but with one thing, control. You rise without hesitation. No snooze, no scroll, no softness. You move not for calories, not for aesthetics, but to dominate the animal within. Your body is a biological machine. Every morning, it tries to take over. Stay in bed. Take it easy, you're tired. Weak commands from old programming, but you're not running old code anymore. Movement is non-negotiable. It's no longer a workout, it's a declaration. Every rep is a rejection of passivity. Every stretch, every breath, every push says, you serve me, not the other way around. Most people live as prisoners of their physiology. You walk free because you discipline it. You train when it's inconvenient. You move with intent. You don't let mood dictate motion. And the beauty of it all, once your body knows who's in charge, it stops resisting. It adapts. It grows stronger. It begins to mirror the mind, and suddenly you're sharper, not just physically, mentally. You're no longer a passenger. You're the commander of a machine that follows orders. Comment below, my body follows orders. No emotion, no excuses, just a code. Issue the command. And move. Number 6, mental rehearsal of war. Prepare before the world strikes before stepping into the battlefield of life. You simulate it in your mind. This is not visualization. This is psychological warfare with yourself. The weak wait for problems to arrive, then panic. The strong prepare for the ambush they know is coming. Before anyone speaks to you, before the world reacts, you've already walked the terrain of the day. You sit in silence, eyes open or closed, doesn't matter. The goal isn't escape. The goal is to invade the mind. You begin with the first confrontation. Maybe it's a difficult person. Maybe it's failure. Maybe it's your own inner resistance, trying to drag you off course. Whatever it is, you don't avoid it. You simulate it, coldly, without emotion. You ask yourself, what will the day throw at me? And in that moment, as you stare down adversity before it even arrives, we move forward to the next level, where you strategize the counterattack. Before the enemy even blinks, you remember just moments ago. You rehearse the battlefield in your mind, facing inner resistance. Now, it's time to go further. Strategize your counter-strike before the enemy even moves. Number 7, mental rehearsal of opposition. Reaction pre-programmed. You don't just ask, what will the day throw at me? You go further. How will I remain unaffected? You picture yourself walking into the meeting, calm and composed. You hear someone trying to throw you off. You see your old instincts rise, and you override them. You simulate pressure. You feel your heartbeat spike, then you slow it down. You run your day like a combat scenario. Obstacles become enemies. Fatigue is enemy intel. Doubt is psychological warfare. You don't just imagine success, you anticipate interference. Then you build counterattacks. Why? Because the mind obeys rehearsal. It doesn't learn from results. It learns from imagined responses, drilled until automatic. The average person imagines ease. You imagine resistance and staying precise under pressure. Most people visualize the best case outcome. That's hope. But hope is not a tactic. What you practice is preparedness, a dark rehearsal of potential threats met with unwavering composure. You are not fleeing stress. You are inoculating yourself against it. You flood your nervous system with imagined adversity. So when the real thing arrives, your body says, we've seen this before. Execute. This is how assassins, surgeons, special operators operate. No panic, just protocol. While the average man is thrown off by mood swings and mental fog, you are calibrated. You've felt it before it even hits. You've trained your counter-strike before the trigger is pulled. You visualize your enemy, and more importantly, you visualize yourself unfazed. This is how Stoics face death, not with fear, but with mental rehearsal. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." You don't hope to avoid obstacles. You prepare to use them. That's dominance. While others collapse, you remain composed, not because you're superhuman, but because you trained for this exact moment before it arrived. You don't wake up reciting affirmations. You conduct mental war games, tactical simulations. Execution drills. So when the real test comes, you respond like it's scripted, because to you, it is. Comment below. I've already won the battle they haven't seen yet. Say it once. Say it again. Let your system know who's in command. And now, once you've mastered your thoughts, reactions, and your physical edge, we enter the final phase, where your presence alone quiets a room. Once you've rehearsed the chaos in your mind, what used to feel overwhelming is now a practice drill. You're not shaken by the unexpected because you've trained to expect it. Number 8, the detachment ritual. Disengage to take command before you face the world. You must first detach from it. The weak carry yesterday into today, arguments, regrets, insecurities, but not you. You strip all of it away intentionally. This is your detachment ritual. Not spiritual, not sentimental, tactical. Because emotion is noise, and you don't operate in noise. You begin your day by erasing identity, not forever, just long enough to become dangerous. You are not your job. You are not your name. You are not someone's opinion of you. You are a strategist, a blank slate, updated only by intentional code. The ritual is simple. Sit, breathe, review every emotional hook trying to pull you out of control. Are you angry about something? Cut it. Is something from the past haunting you? Burn it. Is the need for validation creeping in? Kill it. You visualize these emotions as ropes around your neck, and you slice them one by one. This isn't denial. This is precision. Because the emotions that control you are not you. They're just inputs, and you are not obligated to respond. The average person enters the day already emotionally hijacked. They don't even realize they've been compromised. That's why they're reactive. That's why they break under pressure. But you clear the battlefield. You remove anything that isn't useful. Not because you don't feel, but because you don't serve your feelings. This is where psychological dominance begins. Not by pretending to be strong, but by refusing to let old programming run the mission. Every morning, before the world sees you, you purge yourself of emotional excess. And what remains is pure intention, pure logic, pure control. That's your operating system. The Stoics called it apatheia, not the absence of feeling, but the absence of being ruled by it. No guilt, no attachment, no mental clutter, only the cold silence of a mind ready to move without hesitation. Now, with your inner world in full command, we enter the final phase where your very presence, without words, commands the room. Once you've stripped down your emotions and stepped into the day like a sharpened blade, your clarity becomes your edge. Number 9, mental stillness. Light, fast, deadly. In that state, there's no space for overthinking, no panic, no second guessing. You become light, fast, dangerous. You walk into the world and nothing sticks. Praise doesn't inflate you. Criticism doesn't shake you. You are clean. And that cleanliness, that stripped down clarity, gives you an unpredictable edge. Comment below. I remove what I don't control. Say it like a rule, because that's what it is. Not self-help. Self-command. Let the world cling. Let them obsess. You enter each day like a blade, sharpened, unburdened, and ready to cut through noise. Number 10, the inner gatekeeper. Guard the mind of eerie morning. There's a moment, a threshold. Between what the world wants to pour into your head and what you allow in. That moment is guarded by something few people know exists. The inner gatekeeper. It's not mystical. It's not emotional. It's protocol. And most people, they don't have one. Their thoughts are open source. Anything gets in. News, gossip, endless scrolling. A stranger's opinion. They wake up and consume chaos like breakfast. Then wonder why they feel distracted, anxious, insecure. The truth is simple. They open the gates and let the enemy walk right in. But you don't. Before anything enters your mental domain, it must pass through one filter. Does this serve my mission? If the answer is no, it dies at the gate. You don't kind of block distractions. You don't sometimes limit negativity. You are surgical, ruthless, cold. Your mental space is a fortress. Not everyone gets in. Not every headline deserves attention. Not every text needs a reply. You don't absorb. You filter. Because your mind is a weapon, and weapons left unguarded will be used against their owner. This is psychological sovereignty. It begins when you wake up and ends when you sleep. Your attention is currency. Your thoughts are infrastructure. You don't give either away for free. A king doesn't let peasants rewire the palace. A tactician doesn't let random noise pollute the plan. And you don't let low-frequency nonsense through the gates. Because once you do, it infects the system. Doubt, drama, distraction. It all begins with one unguarded second. When you've installed the inner gatekeeper, always awake, always watching, every input is filtered. And through input control, you gain control over your outcomes. Number 11. Micro wins. Macro power victory doesn't begin with massive moves. It doesn't erupt in bursts of drama or grand gestures. It begins small, nearly invisible. Most people wait for breakthroughs. They crave fireworks. They hope for a surge of motivation to do something bold. But not you. You're not here to feel powerful. You're here to be precise. That's why you focus on micro wins, tiny, intentional actions no one else sees, but you feel them in your bones. Making the bed not out of habit, but as a signal to the mind. We begin with order. Drinking water, not just to hydrate, but to activate obedience. Writing a single line in your journal, not for reflection, but to anchor your thoughts in your own voice. Before the world tries to hijack them, these aren't chores. They're psychological triggers. Each micro win is a vote for the identity you're constructing, and repeated votes compound into something most people will never experience: undeniable internal power. Because control doesn't come from one heroic act. It comes from 50 precise moves executed before the world even knows you're awake. That's how you stack momentum. One intentional act, then another, then another. While others fight the urge to hit snooze, you've already notched 5. Silent victories. Your brain remembers. You walk differently. You speak with precision. Why? Because you're ahead, not in comparison, but in control. Your brain, your body, your mission. Aligned. Micro wins eliminate hesitation. They remove the need for permission. They leave no space for debate. You don't need to feel like a machine. You become one through ritualized action. Stoicism isn't passive. It's momentum built through mastery of the immediate. You don't need to predict how the day will go. You just need to dominate the next 60 seconds. In every micro win, you're not just acting. You're reinforcing identity. And when you chain enough of those actions together, you're not building routine. You're building undeniable power. Number 12. Becoming untouchable. Unreachable by chaos. This isn't about being better than them. This is about becoming someone nothing can touch. Not bulletproof, not perfect, but unreachable by the forces that break ordinary minds. You've trained the body to obey. You've conditioned the mind to filter noise. You've stripped emotions of their control. You've rehearsed the war before it began. This isn't motivation. This is architecture. You've built a system silent in presence, brutal in focus. No wasted movement, no scattered thought. You're no longer pulled by moods, no longer swayed by approval from those too undisciplined to govern themselves. You move when it's time. You speak only when necessary. You observe more than you reveal. And when you act, it's strategic, surgical, deliberate. You don't react. You calculate. That's what untouchable means. Not immune to pain, but immune to emotional ownership of it. Not free from stress, but unmoved by it. Not distant from the world, just never owned by it. And people will notice. They'll feel it, even if they can't explain it. That edge, that cold clarity, that stillness under pressure. It unsettles them, because they've never met someone free from what controls them. That's not arrogance. That's precision. It's the outcome of hundreds of unseen choices, executed long before anyone was watching. And if you do this every morning, you won't chase success. Success chases silence. Power finds those who stop begging for it. You don't force respect. You become someone who makes it inevitable. Comment below. I am untouchable because I trained that way. Remember, the loudest person is rarely the strongest. The most reactive mind is never the most lethal. Real power is invisible. Until it strikes, this is how you reprogram your mornings. This is how you win the day. Without noise, without validation, without needing to prove anything. Just clarity, control, execution. You've been given the system. Now install it. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, then disappear and get to work.